Evening Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to talk about a little bit tools for the job. Mark's theme on Monday, I guess, but he's been talking about it a bit this week. We talk about a regenerative system, and that's part of what we do with our food in the hog harvest charcuterie and the pastured poultry class, which is coming up in June, is not only showcase the animal, but good evening, Inga, but showing how it's a tool for health. Because the food that you raise on your homestead is totally about health. Um, we have this idea in a regenerative farming system, and it's also the tool that I use in my health coaching is that what you need is always around you. If you need it, it's there. If you don't see it at the moment, that's okay. Believe that it's there, it will show up. So, our food is part of our regenerative system. We give the animals the scraps, the animals eat the grass, they manure back into the ground to enrich the soil, the grass grows better, the animals eat it. We harvest the animals, but we use the whole animal. So we eat the meat, we eat the organs, use the bones for bone broth. If there is skin involved, we throw it in the bone broth, or we use leftover parts for dog food. Um, Chicken parts go to the pigs, beef goes to the pigs, extra pig parts go in the compost pile. All of their manure that we gather through the winter goes in. It just makes a circle. It goes around and around so that everything is regenerative. Everything the farm needs is right here. And the better we get at managing it, that's our job, is to learn how to be the good stewards and to manage it. The better it works and the richer the whole system is. So this past month, I've been teaching a kitchen medicine class, and we've been focusing on the kitchen because Ayurveda has a lot to talk about with food and kitchen. Digestion is one of Ayurveda's big tools. We talk a lot about digestion, and the kitchen is obviously a key part of that. What you need for health is actually in your kitchen, probably in your kitchen right now. It's just a matter of knowing how to use it. Just like outside on the farm, on the homestead, it's all there. We just have to learn how to use it. And the same is true for your health in your kitchen. It's all there. It's just knowing how to use it. One of the biggest things that we've kept coming back to, it's where we started and we keep coming back to it, is lifeful food. When we do the food for the charcuterie class this weekend, we are going to do lifeful food. Primarily, that involves then meat and vegetables. Meat and vegetables and more meat and vegetables. We'll do a little bit of bread, and Rachel's going to make pie with lard because it's a treat for us. And I mean, come on, pie crust with lard. You have to do it. Part of the deal, though, is that we're using the lard. It's something that's around us, and it's here all the time. There's two keys to a lifeful diet. I mean, all the diets in the world, right? You got the Mediterranean diet. You got, I don't know, that's the one that jumps out the most as a fad diet. But there's the grapefruit diet. There's, people go vegetarian and vegan. Or on the other end of the things, you've got keto and carnivore. And what's the right diet? What superfood should you be eating? And usually, by the way, there's an ad at the end that they will sell you this superfood in a powdered form. Forget it all. Two things, two keys to your diet. A couple more than two. But to make it super simple, eat food that is alive, meaning it's fresh, local, and seasonal. As fresh as possible. And like fresh right now in northern Michigan means that our meat is either hanging, stored in fat, and you'll get to see how we do our confit and taste it in the class if you're coming this weekend. So it's preserved outside or fermented. That's basically what a dry cured sausage is fermented meat. The vegetables, we've got squash out of the root cellar. Um, we've got, I would consider broccoli still okay. It's in the freezer, which isn't super great, but it is what it is. Then we got sauerkraut, we got kimchi, all the fermented vegetables, pickles. We're going to have pickled beets, which we had to buy because I didn't make, but I could have. And then we'd have had them. So they are fresh. They're definitely local to our area. We're not going to import bananas. We are not going to have fruit salad because that's neither local nor seasonal at all. Um, they're not processed. They're not highly processed. All those powders and pills that people are selling you are highly processed, and you lose a lot as soon as you put it in a pill. One of the things that Ayurveda teaches, we talk about a balanced diet by 6 tastes. If you put it in a pill, your stomach doesn't taste a blessed thing. You only taste things in your mouth. So if you are just swallowing all of your main nutrition, the things that are really you're relying on to keep you healthy, in a pill or a highly processed powder, you are missing out on a lot of power. Plus, you're paying a whole lot of money. As soon as you make your food fresh, local, seasonal, you immediately up the life value, the quantity of life in your food. The enzymes haven't been completely killed. They haven't separated out the nutrients so that you lose all of the complementary small pieces that make a particular vitamin or mineral bioavailable to your body. One of the other cool things about the way nature packages food is on the food, just like on your skin, you host an entire zoo on your skin, and you need it there, or you're not healthy. Your food has the same thing, and all of those, that microbiome on the outside of your food is essential for you. So as soon as you pull the vitamin C out of a carrot and put it in a pill, you immediately lose all the other trace things that are in that carrot that help your body digest the vitamin C. Or it's A, excuse me. A is in carrots. But you also lose all of the wonderful, glorious things that are on the skin of that carrot. Assuming, of course, it's an organic carrot, so it doesn't have unwanted things on the outside of it. But that's all a package deal. Nature packages things. Do you find corn oil in nature? No, never. What about sunflower oil? Never. Canola oil? Safflower oil? The ubiquitous vegetable oil? Never. Those are not naturally made things. Um, those aren't naturally occurring things in nature. What are naturally occurring things? Unprocessed oils your body can use. Butter, ghee, lard, tallow, duck fat, chicken fat. These are naturally occurring fats, and it's a lie that those vegetable oils are healthy for you. I've been listening to this great guy, Dr. It's an Indian name, and now I can't remember what it is. So if you want it, let me know, and I'll find it later and post it in the chat. But he's a cardiologist, and he was talking about how polyunsaturated fats, all the vegetable oils, negatively impact your body because they are highly processed. They are as dead as a doornail. There's no life in them, and the nutrients are not readily bioavailable. That creates challenges in your system. They also throw your omega-3 and omega-6 balance out of whack, which makes your hormones go out of whack. Insulin, even though it's an oil, your insulin is affected by the fat. All of that affects your thyroid hormones, your weight, your metabolism, all affected by that. So processed foods are not lifeful. Just get rid of them, and you're on your way to the best diet for you. The other big key thing is sugar. You have, so taste of Ayurveda, sweet is a taste, and you do need it. Also, sugar, whether it's raw cane sugar, maple sugar, honey, stevia, that's a very small part of actually the whole class of sweet foods. Sweet foods include meat, dairy, the root vegetables. Those have a lot of sweet in them. There's a lot of other foods. All of your fruits have a lot of sweet taste in them. There's a lot of places to get that taste that are very satisfying, and don't do the crazy things that sugar does to your body. Now layer in, on top of not only too much sugar, processed grains. Grains are a sweet. They taste sweet. And you get a double whammy. This kills. If you have problems with fertility, the explosion in our culture, maybe not in our crowd, because you guys are all wonderful, but the explosion of the need for Viagra, the explosion of diabetes, of anxiety, all of these things track back, thyroid, cancer, you name it. It tracks back to inflammation in the body, and inflammation that comes from diet. Particularly, and well, it's one thing, but the stresses of highly processed sugar and salt. Almost all processed foods, restaurant foods, deli foods, you name it, outside of what you cook in your kitchen, have a ton of salt and sugar. When you get an excess of sweet and salty taste, it creates an insatiable greed in you. You have emotions that are attached to all these different flavor tastes, which is really fun, because when we talk about kitchen medicine, when you notice that you are feeling angry, you've probably had too much pungent taste, too much garlic, onion, mustard, hot peppers. It can create too much fire in your system. Anger. This overabundance of the sweet taste, you may notice that you feel insatiable. You just can't get enough. You have to have more, right? You can identify that. Too much salt results in a feeling of greed. So too much salt, too much sugar in your food, and you have an insatiable greed. They know this. They put it in there on purpose, and it screws up your body totally. So, regenerative tools. You have what you need around you. And what you have is the food that you can raise, or that the farmers around you can raise. So even if you don't have the ability to raise a lot of your food, go to a farmer's market, see what's going on. You can find out on the internet what is local to your area, and just get that food out of the grocery store. You also found that it satisfies you because you're not creating this insatiable greed in your system, and you're very satisfied. And you'll be amazed at how much food you don't need when you are just eating lifeful food that's fresh, local, and seasonal. Kitchen medicine. That's medicine for you. So, pretty simple. We've had a great time this last month learning about that. I've had a great time teaching. And this week we had a couple of cases where we really pulled it together and talked about these tastes And the more that you learn about it, the more fun it is. So I will probably redo this again, and I'll let you know when I'm going to do it. And I'd love to have a bunch of people join me. And if you come to a class here on the farm, you get to not only ask questions, but you get to experience it, because that's how I design the menus, is with a lot of this stuff in mind. So you get a chance to see how it works in a very practical way, in a very real way, because we are real people with real life. We're not like guru monks sitting on a mountaintop somewhere. And this is all we do. No, we're real people with real lives, and we really eat the food that we raise, which is why I was also so very happy about doing the beef. And we have a freezer full of it. And when I get done here, I'm actually going to go strain off the tallow that I've got rendering. And we're going to be sharing all of this stuff. So, yeah, Wellness Wednesday, eat real food, and enjoy